Councilman, congratulations, just sworn into office in Seabright, and I've known you for years as a Republican mechanical consigliere. What made you go from that role to being the man out front?
Well, it's an interesting question, and it's a question I've been asked a few times. But before I get into that, Happy New Year, Max, and to you and your family. And 2020 has been quite the year, and we've come out the other side, and better days appear to be ahead. So certainly happy about that. To answer your question, you are correct. For the better part of the last 20 years, I've been involved in Republican politics and been an operative, been a campaign manager. I've done all these things. I guess the analogy I would use is that after being the cut man in the corner of the boxing ring or the trainer or whatever have you, this past year, I put the gloves on and got in the ring. So, it was interesting. All the advice I've given over the years, all the things I've said, etc. Now being the guy sort of out there, it was interesting to be able to lean on those experiences and have a successful campaign locally in Seabright.
Could you tell me a little bit about the significance of your particular candidacy and the particular achievement of becoming a councilman in Seabright?
It's a beautiful town. I moved here last year the year before, actually, 2019, was well received and just enjoyed the town very much. Met a lot of the folks in town, met the mayor and our municipal chair and others. Again, being able to sort of step in and sort of get plugged in and meet lots of folks, our restaurant owners, our business owners, our residents, and really enjoyed sort of getting tied into the fabric of the town, and really enjoyed that. Great folks, again, I'm told that I would be only the second African American to serve on the governing body in the history of the town. Not something I sort of talked a lot about or said much about or whatever have you, but that's what I'm told. It just goes to show that we still live in a country where opportunity is available to those who want to take advantage of it and those who want to serve and be able to work with their community, regardless of race, creed, national origin, color, etc.
Councilman, what are some of the concerns that you're hearing from the residents and business owners during this COVID-19 crisis in your hometown?
What we're really hearing a lot of is a lot of folks have come up to me throughout last year and really struggled with the economic impact of the pandemic. We hear a lot about the health impact. It's very real. It's deadly in some cases. This is real, and it's a real problem. With the vaccine now coming online, I think there's some light in the tunnel there, which is great. But what I hear from business owners and just residents and neighbors is the economic impact of this has been devastating. I think I've heard upwards of 1/3 of small businesses have closed and may never reopen. That is a staggering number. So while it's important to manage public health, what we're hearing from folks in town is that we've got to find a way to get our businesses back online and get folks back to work. While it's nice to hear that Washington and all of its dysfunction is trying to figure out how to get some monies out the door, etc. That's great, that's fine. But the best stimulus program is a job. And the sooner that we can get back to that, the better.
What, in your view, are the main executive orders at the state level that you would like to see immediately overturned to help restore some economic normalcy, if there is such a capacity at this time?
Well, I think it's fair to say that there's been a lot of questions about how Trenton, how the governor's office and others have sort of handled some of the pandemic's challenges. Again, public health is important. We have to manage our public health responsibilities as those in government. But I believe, and those in my town believe, that Trenton's been heavy-handed on the way they've managed this, and folks are struggling economically as a result. So I think one of the things that would be of help is to begin to intelligently open up our town and our state to allow more economic activity, to allow restaurants to go to maybe 50% or something like that, to be able to give them a lifeline as we head in towards a season where the vaccine is coming online. I think it's probably appropriate to allow our restaurants and businesses to be smart as they are and be responsible citizens as they are, to be able to push forward and, like I said before, be able to get folks back online, back to work, kids back in school. That should always be the goal. Managing public health, of course, but our goal should always be to get there.
We did have a total shutdown at one point, and now we seem to have adjusted to allow certain critical businesses to remain open, and certainly restaurants. Do you think it's too little too late? Is there anything that you believe our executive leadership should tailor or alter to improve the situation for restaurants in particular?
Well, again, I think, as I alluded to earlier, right now we're 25%. We're at some restrictions later in the evening. So I think the adjustment in those areas initially or immediately will be helpful, to maybe go from 25 to 50%, and allow for a gradual uptick in activity as we head towards the spring and the vaccine and the summer season, et cetera.
We still have to get through the cold weather months, however, Councilman, and I'm playing the devil's advocate here, but might now be the time that we need to keep it at a minimum. Your thoughts?
Well, I appreciate that, and the fact that we are heading into the cold of winter is certainly a concern. But I believe in our businesses. I believe in our business owners. They know how to run their shops. They know how to run their restaurants. They know how to do it in a smart way. They don't want to get sick. They don't want their employees to get sick. But they got to pay the mortgage too, right? They have to pay the car payment. So there's got to be a meeting of the minds to manage public health, but give our businesses and our restaurants in my town and elsewhere a lifeline. It's important.
Sir, we are in a gubernatorial election year, and it is already in full swing. Do you have a candidate at this time?
No, I don't. I know both leading candidates, but I know them well and have for many years, but I don't have an endorsement to make at this time.
Do you anticipate anyone else jumping in the race?
Not that I've heard, but I'm just a councilman from Seabright, so I don't know.
A councilman with a long-standing history of statewide activity.
Fair.
Let me ask you this. Your reaction to Trump losing the presidency last year. Choose one of the above. An opportunity to get him in 4 years. A. B. A chance at a new beginning and new direction and new leadership for the Republican Party. Or C. A tragedy for the country.
I think that I would probably be more in the B category. I think that the Trump administration did accomplish some good things, certainly did. But I think the tone out of Washington, I think the energy coming out of the executive branch, et cetera, could have been better. And I think some of the accomplishments that were achieved weren't really publicized or really known about because there was too much emphasis on angst and a tone that didn't unite the country. And again, there's plenty of blame, down Pennsylvania Avenue inside the Congress. So let's not make this a Trump thing. There were folks on all sides that could have been better last year.
And Councilman, last question, if I could. You were just sworn into office. What is your immediate priority as a local elected official in Seabright?
as I mentioned earlier, the pandemic, which again is a global issue, not a Seabright issue, but its impact is to the street level here. And I look forward to working with Mayor Brian Kelly, Council President Leckstein, and others to find a way to advocate for our town, as you mentioned earlier, work with our county officials, our legislators, to be able to bring relief to our town. We are tourist dependent. Our restaurants and shops and all that, you know, they need to be open more than what they are. I mean, got to figure out a way to do it safely and smartly, but it's got to be the goal.
Sir, I appreciate your time this evening, and I wish you the best of success in your new position, and a Happy New Year.
I appreciate it, Max. It's always good to see you. Thank you.
Likewise, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.